You know that feeling when you sit down after a long day and your legs just ache with this deep, heavy tiredness that won't go away? Or when you wake up in the middle of the night and your feet are ice cold no matter how many blankets you pile on? Maybe you've noticed that burning sensation in your calves when you walk to the mailbox, or your ankles are so swollen by evening that your socks leave deep marks in your skin. And here's what really gets frustrating. You've probably spent good money on circulation pills, supplements that promise better blood flow, bottles and bottles that cost $30, $40, sometimes $50 a month, and yet you're still dealing with the same tired legs and cold feet. I want you to know that I understand how discouraging that feels, and today I'm going to share something with you that might change the way you think about supporting your circulation. Let me start by explaining what's actually happening inside your body as the years go by, because once you understand this, everything else will make so much more sense. When we reach our 60s and beyond, our blood vessels naturally become a little less flexible than they used to be. Think of a brand new garden hose compared to one that's been in the shed for 20 years. The older one just doesn't have the same springiness, the same ability to expand and contract easily. That's what happens to our arteries and veins over time. They get a bit stiffer, a bit narrower in some places, and that means blood has a harder time flowing smoothly through them, especially when it's trying to make that long journey down to your feet and then back up to your heart. When blood flow slows down like this, your legs and feet don't get as much oxygen and nutrients as they need, and that's when you start feeling those symptoms: the coldness, the heaviness, the tingling, the swelling. Your muscles feel tired because they're not getting enough fuel. Your nerves start sending those uncomfortable signals because they're not being nourished properly. Even your energy throughout the day can suffer because your whole body is working harder to move blood around. Now, when people start experiencing these circulation problems, the first thing many of us do is head to the pharmacy or go online and start buying supplements. There are so many products out there promising better blood flow, stronger veins, less swelling, and it's tempting to believe that a pill can fix everything. And I'm not saying those supplements are all bad. Some people do find them helpful. But here's the truth that the supplement companies don't really want you to know. Your body was designed to get the nutrients it needs from actual food, real food that comes from the earth and the ocean. And when you give your body these nutrients in their natural form, wrapped up in the complete package that nature created, something remarkable happens. Your body recognizes them. It knows exactly what to do with them. It can absorb them better, use them more efficiently, and you don't need to spend a fortune on fancy bottles with long ingredient lists you can't pronounce. So today I want to tell you about 3 ordinary foods that you can find in any grocery store, foods that have been helping people support healthy circulation for generations, long before anyone was selling expensive supplements. These aren't exotic superfoods from faraway places. They're simple, affordable, and they work with your body's natural processes to help blood flow more easily through your legs and feet. I'm going to explain each one, tell you exactly how it helps, and share some easy ways you can start using them in your daily routine without making your life complicated. The first food I want you to know about is beetroot, and I know some of you might be thinking that you've never really been a fan of beets, but just hear me out for a moment. Beetroot is one of nature's most powerful foods for helping blood vessels relax and open up. Inside beets, there are natural compounds called nitrates, and I'm going to explain this in the simplest way possible. When you eat beetroot, those nitrates go into your body and get converted into something called nitric oxide. Now, nitric oxide is like a gentle signal that tells your blood vessels to relax and widen. Imagine tight, narrow pipes suddenly being able to open up just a little bit more. That's what's happening inside your arteries and veins. When those vessels relax and widen, blood can flow more easily, and that means better circulation down to your legs and feet. People who eat beetroot regularly often notice that their legs feel less heavy, their feet warm up more easily, and that uncomfortable tightness in their calves starts to ease. You don't need to eat a huge amount either. Just a small serving a few times a week can make a real difference. There was a woman, about 72 years old, who told me she'd been dealing with cold feet for years. the kind of cold that made it hard to fall asleep at night because her feet just wouldn't warm up. She'd tried heated socks, extra blankets, even soaking her feet in warm water before bed, but nothing seemed to help long term. She started adding a small portion of roasted beets to her dinner salad 3 times a week, just a simple change, nothing fancy. After about 2 weeks, she noticed that her feet weren't quite as icy when she climbed into bed. After a month, the difference was so clear that her husband even commented that her feet didn't feel like blocks of ice anymore when they touched his legs at night. She wasn't taking any new pills, wasn't doing anything else differently, just those beets a few times a week. That's the kind of gentle, natural change that real food can create in your body. The second food is salmon, and I'm talking about real salmon, not fish sticks or imitation seafood, but actual salmon fillets that you can bake, grill, or even buy in a can if that's easier for you. Salmon is incredibly rich in something called omega-3 fatty acids, and these are special types of fat that your body can't make on its own. You have to get them from food. These omega-3 fats have a remarkable ability to reduce inflammation throughout your entire body, and inflammation is one of the big reasons why circulation gets worse as we age. When your blood vessels are inflamed, they become stiff and narrow, kind of like how your joints might feel stiff and swollen on a bad arthritis day. The omega-3 fats in salmon help calm down that inflammation, making your blood vessels more flexible and allowing blood to move through them more smoothly. But that's not all these fats do. They also help prevent your blood from getting too sticky and thick, which is important because when blood flows more easily, it can deliver oxygen and nutrients to your legs and feet much more efficiently. People who eat salmon regularly often notice less swelling in their ankles, less of that heavy feeling in their legs, and better overall energy. I remember hearing about a man who was 68, and he'd been struggling with what he called his heavy legs for a couple of years. By the end of each day, his legs felt so tired and weighted down that he dreaded having to climb the stairs to his bedroom. Walking from the car into the grocery store felt like a chore. He started eating a piece of baked salmon twice a week, usually just a simple preparation with a little lemon and herbs, nothing complicated. He kept this up consistently, and after about 10 days, he noticed that his legs didn't feel quite as heavy when he got up from his chair. After 3 weeks, he realized he was walking into the store without that sense of dread, without feeling like his legs were weighted down with sandbags. He wasn't suddenly running marathons, but he was moving through his daily life with more comfort and ease, and that meant everything to him. The third food is walnuts, those wrinkled little nuts that kind of look like tiny brains. Walnuts are packed with healthy fats, antioxidants, and a good amount of those same omega-3 fats we talked about with salmon, though in a different form that comes from plants. What makes walnuts particularly good for circulation is that they help protect the delicate lining inside your blood vessels. This lining is like a smooth inner coating that allows blood to flow without friction, but as we get older and especially if inflammation is present, that lining can get damaged and rough. When walnuts deliver their antioxidants and healthy fats into your system, they help keep that lining smooth and healthy, which means blood can glide through more easily. Walnuts also help support the production of nitric oxide, just like beetroot does, so you're getting that double benefit of relaxing and protecting your blood vessels at the same time. A small handful of walnuts a few times a week is all you need. You can sprinkle them on your oatmeal, toss them in a salad, or just eat them as a simple snack in the afternoon. Now I want to pause here for a moment and talk to you heart to heart. You deserve to walk comfortably. You deserve to wake up without burning sensations in your feet or that deep ache in your calves. You deserve to go through your day without constantly thinking about how tired your legs feel. And you definitely deserve to stop throwing away your hard-earned money on bottles of pills that promise the world but don't seem to fix the root problem. The truth is that your body wants to heal and work properly. It's designed that way, but it needs the right building blocks, the right nutrients, and those nutrients come from real, whole foods. When you give your body beetroot, salmon, and walnuts, you're giving it exactly what it needs to support healthy blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and help blood flow the way it's supposed to. You're not covering up symptoms with a pill. You're actually nourishing your body from the inside out, and that's a completely different approach. Let me give you some practical ideas for how to work these 3 foods into your daily life without making things complicated, because I know that at this stage of life, you don't want to spend hours in the kitchen or follow complicated recipes. For beetroot, you can buy pre-cooked beets in the produce section of most grocery stores. They come in a vacuum-sealed package, already peeled and ready to eat. Just slice them up and add them to a simple salad with some lettuce, a little olive oil, and maybe a sprinkle of salt. You could also roast fresh beets in the oven if you enjoy cooking. Just wrap them in foil, bake until they're tender, and then peel and slice. Some people even enjoy drinking a small glass of pure beet juice, though I recommend starting with just a few ounces because it can be quite strong. For salmon, you don't need to buy the most expensive wild-caught fillets if that's not in your budget. Canned salmon works beautifully and is much more affordable. You can mix it with a little mayonnaise and put it on whole grain crackers for lunch, or flake it into a salad. If you do want to cook fresh salmon, it's one of the easiest fish to prepare. Just place it on a baking sheet, season it with whatever you like, and bake it at 375 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. As for walnuts, keep a small container of them in your pantry and grab a small handful when you want a snack. You can chop them up and stir them into your morning yogurt or oatmeal, or even just eat them straight. The key to all of this is consistency. Eating beetroot once and expecting a miracle isn't realistic. Your body needs time to build up those beneficial compounds, to repair and strengthen your blood vessels, to reduce inflammation gradually. Think of it like watering a plant. One good watering won't bring a wilted plant back to life, but regular watering over days and weeks will. The same is true for your circulation. If you can eat beetroot 2 or 3 times a week, have salmon or another fatty fish twice a week, and enjoy a small handful of walnuts several times a week, you're giving your body a steady supply of exactly what it needs. Most people who stick with this kind of eating pattern start noticing subtle changes within 10 to 14 days. Maybe their feet feel a bit warmer, maybe their legs don't feel as heavy in the evening, maybe they have a little more energy. These changes might be small at first, but over weeks and months, they add up to something really meaningful. I do want to mention a few gentle safety notes because I care about you doing this in a way that's safe and smart. If you have any food allergies, obviously avoid anything you're allergic to. Some people are allergic to fish or tree nuts, and if that's you, then focus on the foods you can safely eat and maybe look for other options that work for your body. If you're taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin, it's worth having a conversation with your healthcare provider before you make big changes to how much fish or walnuts you eat, because those omega-3 fats can have a mild blood-thinning effect, and your doctor might want to monitor your levels. Beetroot can sometimes lower blood pressure a bit because of how it relaxes blood vessels, so if you're already on blood pressure medication, just start slowly and pay attention to how you feel. And for everyone, I always suggest starting with small portions. Don't eat a whole plate of beets on your first try. Start with a small serving, see how your body responds, and then gradually increase if everything feels good. This isn't a race. This is about making sustainable, gentle changes that support your body over the long term. As you get closer to the end of this journey with these 3 foods, I want you to set a simple goal for yourself. For the next 10 to 14 days, commit to trying these foods consistently. Keep it simple. Maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday you have some beets with your dinner. Tuesday and Saturday you have salmon. Every other day you snack on a few walnuts. Write it down if that helps you remember, or just keep it in your mind as a gentle intention. During these 2 weeks, pay attention to how your legs and feet feel. Notice if there are any small changes. Are your feet a little less cold? Do your legs feel a bit lighter when you stand up? Is that burning sensation in your calves a little less intense? Don't expect everything to change overnight, but do notice the small improvements, because those small improvements are your body telling you that it's getting what it needs. And here's something else I want you to think about. Every time you choose to eat one of these foods instead of reaching for another supplement bottle, you're taking control of your own health in the most empowering way possible. You're saying that you're worth the effort of preparing real food. You're saying that you trust your body's ability to heal when given the right support. You're saying that you don't need to depend on expensive pills to feel better. That sense of control and empowerment is powerful, and it can change not just your physical health but your whole outlook on aging. You're not helpless. You're not stuck. You have options, and those options are sitting right there in the produce aisle and the seafood section of your local grocery store. As we wrap up our time together today, I want to leave you with this thought. Your legs have carried you through decades of life. They've walked you through countless experiences, climbed stairs, danced at weddings, chased grandchildren, stood by you through hard times and good times. They deserve your care and attention now. And caring for them doesn't have to mean expensive treatments or complicated medical interventions. Sometimes the most powerful care comes from the simplest places: a deep red beet, a piece of pink salmon, a handful of wrinkled walnuts. These foods have nourished human bodies for thousands of years, long before modern medicine, long before supplement companies, and they can nourish your body too. Give them a chance. Give your body a chance. Try these 3 foods consistently, pay attention to how you feel, and trust that your body knows what to do with this real, wholesome nutrition. If you found this information helpful and you want to learn more about natural ways to support your leg health, your circulation, and your strength as you age, I'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. Every day I share practical, simple tips for seniors who want to stay active, comfortable, and independent without spending a fortune or relying on complicated solutions. We talk about foods that help, gentle exercises you can do at home, ways to reduce pain naturally, and so much more. This is a community of people just like you who are taking charge of their health one small step at a time, and I'd be honored to have you as part of it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, trust your body, and remember that small, consistent changes really can make a big difference in how you feel every single day.